Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on my Xbox, and today we're going to be covering a super awesome glitch for you. This is going to be the new JETGUN glitch that you can use to farm unlimited XP, unlimited kills, unlimited gumballs, high rounds, really whatever you want to do with it. And I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up with some bonus tweaks to make it even more awesome. And yes, you can actually AFK this. So I'll explain how to do everything. First of all, you are going to need some special equipment for this, a very particular loadout, and you will need the JETGUN. So if you want to do this on any map that's not Liberty Falls, you're going to need the JETGUN as your loadout weapon, which means you have to dupe it over from another profile or use an unlock tool. I do not have access to another profile that has the JETGUN as its loadout, and I'm not willing to risk the bannable offense of using an unlock tool. So we're going to take advantage of this on Liberty Falls. Moving on, what you're going to need is a melee weapon that is akimboed. I found the katanas work best for this, so go ahead and equip those. A combat axe, which if you don't have a high enough level to equip it, not a big deal. You can get one in-game. They drop a lot. And you will need the field upgrade Ether Shroud with a very specific augment. We're actually going to change a couple of our augments around from what we would normally use for this. So for Ether Shroud, you specifically want Void Sheath, and then the minor augment doesn't really matter. I like the extra charge, just in case you don't get the timing right. All of our ammo mods can really be whatever you want, but I would recommend that you have the ones that allow them to activate on elite enemies. And then most of your perks are going to be standard augments as well. I would recommend Dying Wish. Juggernog, I highly recommend Probiotic and then Durable Plates, but I tested this and it does work with hardened plates as well, so really it's personal preference. The rest of the perks don't matter too much. Death Perception, if you're going to use it, as long as it's not the boss fight for Terminus Island. Death Stare works fine. It's not really a perk that you need, but it does work. Deadshot Daiquiri is not too helpful to us, but if you want it for armor damage, you can take it. The biggest one is going to be Elemental Pop. This is where we change things from what other folks have posted about this, and we run Imperial Peach, so that enemies that hit us have a chance to trigger an ammo mod, as well as the Pineapple Blast, which makes it so our equipment kills can also have a chance to trigger an ammo mod. It's not necessary and can be done completely without it, but it does make it a little bit easier if you're going to be more towards the AFK side. And I'll show that this works without it and exactly how to set it up once we get in-game. Now, if you're doing this on Liberty Falls, remember that you will not have access to your perks until you get to the Wave 25 and have the Wonder Fizz. So there's a few things. If you want your Deadshot Daiquiri or if you want your Elemental Pop, you're going to have to wait, Death Perception, things like that. Or you're going to have to get those perks via random perk Gumballs, but I'll leave that choice up to you. So first things first, you need to get the JETGUN, and I do have a video on my channel for the Easter egg that shows all the steps if you need it, but you can get it from the mystery box or you can build the JETGUN. I recommend building the JETGUN and then focus on getting yourself the equipment that you need. I'm going to actually show you a clip of me doing this, getting the glitch set up, and then we're going to go into game and we're actually going to do it. Alright, so here we are in a match that I did earlier while I was testing things. And just to go ahead and show you that it does work, you don't have to have a lot of perks. I literally only bought Jug, Quick Revive, and a 2-plate vest. And then we're going to go ahead and actually get into the glitch with the JETGUN. And once we get the glitch started, then the JETGUN is going to continue to do its damage. But when we have the combat axe out, it's going to count as a combat axe kill and insta-kill everything. So, that was just a quick game clip. What I'm going to explain that you need to do, I'll explain it slowly so you can follow along because the timing is a little bit harder. But first, we're going to get the JETGUN and anything that you want. So if you want like a 3-plate vest, get that before you go into the glitch. It'll make your life a lot easier.
Is that it?
So we are actually building the JETGUN now here on Liberty Falls on Wave 7, which is something that you can do if you're pretty strategic about getting the pieces. And now that you have the JETGUN, all you need to do is actually get anything that you want to have before entering the glitch. So pretty much this is perks and armor wise. I highly recommend that you have Jug and Quick Revive. You can grab other perks if you would like them. Like I mentioned earlier, Elemental Pop can be pretty helpful for this. And you're going to need to try to at least get a 2-plate armor vest. Yes, you can do this with a 1-plate, but I would recommend a 2-plate or 3-plate, especially if you're going to be more AFK. So build the JETGUN, get some points, and make sure that you have at least 1 charge on your Ether Shroud ability, if not 2 charges. You'll also need a few points to open up any doors leading to any areas that you wish to go ahead and camp at if you're going to go AFK for this glitch, or if you're just looking to, you know, semi-pay attention to the game. If you're going to be actively playing, then it doesn't matter as much. Just keep in mind that we're not really going to be able to buy stuff while we are in the glitch, but you can enter and exit the glitch. So, personal preference, I'll see you in a few minutes once I've earned a bit more points. Alright, here we are, basically ready to go as set up as we can be into the glitch and be AFK. You do need a few things, and you're going to want to change a few settings to make this as easy as possible. The main thing is you're going to need to go into your settings. It'll be your control input settings. Go over to combat, and we're going to change technically 2 settings in here. One is going to be equipment behavior. Normally I have that on hold, but for this we're going to switch it to toggle. And the other is going to be under movement. You're going to want sprint assist, so that it is automatic sprint when you move, and sprint assist delay to 0. Once you have those settings, go ahead and save them. Go ahead and go back into the game. Make sure that you have your Ether Shroud charged, whatever armor vest you want, whatever perks you want. Now you'll notice I'm set up here on wave 11. I did not pack-a-punch my weapon. You could do that if you wanted, but I saved all my money for perks. I did use a soda fountain gumball and an on-the-house gumball, and I got really lucky and I got the perk that I wanted, the Elemental Pop. The Vulture Aid and PhD Flopper are simply personal preference, but it is nice, just in case things go wrong, to have the ability to slide away from the zombies faster. So what we're going to need to do here, I'm going to first explain. I already showed it, but I'm going to explain it because the timing is wonky, and you might not get it on your first try. The thing that we're going to need to do is we are going to need to have the JETGUN out, which I don't have the JETGUN pack-a-punched. You could if you wanted to, but there's no reason for it, really. And we will need to be holding down the trigger to fire the JETGUN while activating our Ether Shroud ability. Now, because we have Void Sheath on the Ether Shroud ability, it is going to automatically pull out our melee weapon, at which point we will need to be meleeing and moving forward at the same time for the duration of the Ether Shroud ability, and then as the Ether Shroud ability ends, if you've done it right, you'll get a little weird animation with the JETGUN, at which point you can tap the trigger to fire the JETGUN 1 time. Just real quick. And then at that point, if your timing is right, the JETGUN will continue to fire indefinitely, but not consume ammo. Then we'll be able to switch to our combat axe while dealing combat axe damage, insta-kill damage, at the range and width of the JETGUN. It's a little bit hard to explain and follow along with at the same time. However, you will not be able to do things like replate, buy vests, or I tried to use the zipline and failed to use the zipline, so I recommend that you have everything that you want set up. If you're going to buy like that zipline so you can camp, or if you're going to camp in the motel room, it's completely up to you, wherever you want to go. But if you want to make it so the zombies spawn in faster, you'll need to buy this door or debris so that you can get down on top of the ice cream shop roof once you are in the glitch. So really, you can use this to do whatever you want. I just want to be super clear about it. Also, the button that we will be tapping while we have our melee weapon out is going to be the dedicated melee button. So in the case of controller, by default, that's clicking in the right thumbstick, not holding or pulling the right trigger. It will not work if you are pulling the trigger. You must actually be clicking in the thumbstick. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we'll get into the glitch, show you that this works. The other thing, just to make a quick note of, if you want to use the Rampage Inducer, which, well, since you're here to farm XP and everything, you probably want the Rampage Inducer, you will need to make sure that you turn the Rampage Inducer on before you go ahead and attempt to get into the glitch. So I highly recommend that you have just one or at most 2 zombies left, because it's kind of annoying to run around and do this while being chased by an entire horde. So you seen there, I got that little, like, I pulled out my jet gun, but then my jet gun sort of swung like it was a sword up to the side. That is the animation that you want. Now you will have jet gun insta-kill damage. So we're at the range of the jet gun, but because we have the combat axe out, it's counting as a combat axe kill, and therefore giving us insta-kill damage. So at this point, you can run around the map, pretty much do whatever you want, just insta-killing the zombies. As long as you have a jet gun, you can do this, so you can have other people on your team do this. And on other maps, there are more effective spots where you'll be able to go AFK completely and safely. However, on Liberty Falls, the only spot to really do this that I've found works the vast majority of the time is going to be on top of the ice cream shop roof. So the key here is positioning, and we can't replate while in this glitch. So you have a little bit of a problem, and that's going to be the special and elite zombies. That's something that really nobody else that I know of has talked about. And while you can deal with them easier on other maps like Terminus, Citadel, pretty much all of those guys are just going to come to you. In the case of Manglers and in the case of Abominations, they're not going to come to you without dealing damage. Now, in the early rounds, it's not really a big deal. You see the Mangler jumped up, and, he fired his arm cannon at us. It did a little bit of damage, but the main thing is it knocked us back. So eventually, if you are completely AFK, you are going to end up pushed back, or you can start pushed back all the way up against this wall, which is perfectly fine for dealing with the regular zombies. Now, keep in mind, you're also going to just suck up all of the power-ups that drop, but you'll also get the nukes. Now, see, because we're pushed all the way back here, initially, the Abominations are going to jump down, and they're going to be outside of the suck range. So, since they are technically taking damage, but they are outside of the suck range, they're going to either A, charge you, or B, more likely, laser beam you. Now, the problem with the laser beam is it does a fair amount of damage, and it tends to negate armor, especially on high waves, which most of the time we are actually going to be without armor, and on higher waves it only takes about 3, at most 4 Mangler blasts to actually kill us. So, that's why I say being 100% AFK is not necessarily ideal. You want to be present enough that you can keep your character moved forward to about the point that you see that I'm at right now. This is roughly the sweet spot, and by being at this particular point on the ice cream roof, what you're going to do is every single abomination is going to jump down from the top of the bank roof, and they will be within suck range immediately. So they're going to get stunned. They're not even going to laser beam you. Most of the manglers will also jump down from the bank roof, and again, instantly within suck range. Now, the few that do jump up from the parking lot below will not be within suck range, so unfortunately they will be the ones that do shoot you, and they'll blast you back. Basically, you just have to kind of make sure that you can move forward enough to stay at this point on the roof, but you don't want to go too far forward where the zombies will jump down behind you. As long as you can maintain that semi-AFK state, then you'll be perfectly fine. You can go as high around as you want until, well, the game crashes. So, very easy to do. You can use this strategy to farm a ridiculous amount of kills. If you're working on the 1 million zombie kills, you can also use it to farm a ridiculous amount of XP. Because of the medals, you're going to get a lot of medals off of doing this, especially in the higher rounds. Right now, we're not getting that many medals, but you're going to get your medals for zombie kills rapidly, your medals for zombie kills without taking damage, and your medals for equipment-related kills. Now, when you get up into the higher rounds, it's just going to be spamming you with a ridiculous amount of medals, and those medals are worth a bunch of XP. Of course, at this point, you could use a double XP token, or hopefully this will still be around when there is a double XP event. But remember, this is the most broken thing that I have seen in a very long time. So this is probably going to get fixed extremely quickly. As you can see, the abomination jumped down, immediately within suck range, immediately stunned, and then just shredded after a couple of seconds. So you can really play with this glitch however you want. Let me know in the comment section down below how you like it, or what spots you found to stand that you like. I've played around with other spots. The problem is you need all of the zombies to come at you from a rather narrow angle, and you don't want to have a long distance that the zombies can go ahead and stay a ways away from you, especially the elites where they'll laser beam you. I've tried standing on different spots of the roof, but you don't want to be too far to my right. You want to be up against the bank wall so that the abominations don't stand on the bank roof and then just laser beam you and kill you. You will, of course, suck up max armor power-ups, which will fully restore your armor, hence why I recommended having at least the 2-plate vest, if not the 3-plate vest, so that more often than not, you're not completely without armor for a long period of time. Now, you did see there a moment ago I procced Shadow Rift on the Mangler that hit me, and that's just one of those reasons why I recommended having the augment setup that I did for elemental pop. Not that you absolutely need it, but it will make it easier, especially if you are completely AFK and you got pushed all the way back up against the wall. Now remember, if you do this in the directed mode will save your game and kick you out automatically after 5 hours, so this would be best to do in standard mode. As you can see, we're on wave 23, and you're really just getting a ridiculous amount of medals that are popping up. Like, we have so many life drinkers and everything right now. That's why we turned on the Rampage Inducer. We're just going to use this to farm as much kills and XP as we can. Level up your profile. You're not going to accomplish camo challenges at the same time, but we're after XP, waves, kills, and of course those sweet gobbles in as quick an amount of time as possible. Now, depending on how long you take to set up, you might be in the game longer. My game was roughly 35 minutes. I did take my time and set up, got my 3-plate vest, I got extra perks, and all of that fun stuff. So you can get out of this glitch very easily, just swapping weapons, and then you can get back into the glitch by doing the exact same process that we did earlier, holding the JETGUN fire button, activate Ether Shroud while still holding the JETGUN fire button. Then when the melee weapons come out, clicking in the dedicated melee button while tapping to move forward at the same time. And then as soon as we bring out the JETGUN and it does that kind of weird side swipe animation, we tap the trigger a single time, just tap and release the trigger to activate the JETGUN's firing. And at that point, then it continues to fire without consuming ammo indefinitely, which is when we can pull out the combat axe. And since we have our equipment set to toggle, we can literally sit here indefinitely. So I hope the video helped. Leave me a nice spicy comment if it did, and maybe consider, subscribing with notifications on if you haven't done so already. Also, don't forget to leave a like on the video, and I will show you here just a couple minutes of gameplay at the end to prove this works on much higher rounds. Alright, now just to show everybody that this does work, we are currently on wave 106 after sitting basically 90% AFK the entire time. It's been just under 2 hours that we've been sitting here, and I did go down one time, but of course that was mostly just because my controller actually has stick drift, so I didn't know that it did prior to starting this, but as you can see here, my character just ever so slightly is walking towards the right without me actually touching the controller. So yeah, let that be a lesson. Do not do this with a controller that has stick drift. At least not if you're going to be completely AFK. But anyways, if you do go down and you are paying attention, you can use your self-revive, get back up, and then simply make sure that you rebuy your quick revive, and then get back up on top of the bank roof, repeat the steps to go into the glitch again, and you're good to go. So now, just to show you, obviously we're past health cap, we're past the wave 101, another round calling card challenge. So just racking up kills for XP, Gumballs, and, wave completions here. You can suck up the max armors that drop, but there is a pretty good percentage of the time where you will be without armor, especially if you are AFK while doing this. That's why I recommended that you had the 3-plate vest and that you have quick revive and jug. The other perks aren't really necessarily as important, and you just want to keep moving your character back forward. So this is something that you can either do actively, run around, play the game while insta-killing everything, or a semi-AFK, like if you're watching a movie or, some of my other awesome videos on your phone while you're kind of just only keeping one eye on the game. But it does definitely work. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and do me that favor, smashing the like button on it. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, stay frosty. It's also worth noting, just one other little quick thing, you can actually plate. I know I said you can't, but if you press Y, you'll put away your combat axe, then you can press and hold your plate button to go ahead and add your armor plates. And then you can bring back out your equipment. You can throw your equipment if you want to. This way you can do things like successfully exfilling and using armor plates. So just remember that, you might need to go pick up another combat axe, but you can technically run around like this with the JETGUN glitch active. So I wanted to show you that was something that you could do. But anything that causes you to put the JETGUN away, like climbing ladders or using the zip line, if you put the JETGUN away, then you do lose the JETGUN glitch. So just bear that in mind.